Someone called us to say that a broken razor was stuck in a rattlesnake. We're going to go get it. It's a nice morning, and the rain stopped late last night. We'll let them go. People love to watch Matt's off-road recovery on the Discovery Channel. The reality show tells the amazing story of how a tow truck driver in southern Utah became famous on YouTube. A lot of people are happy for Matt's success on camera, but behind the scenes, he had to deal with betrayals, cases, and other problems. Prepare to learn the sad tale of Matt from Matt's off-road recovery, the journey to stardom. It looks like the ball joint is broken in the picture they sent us. That's where we put the caravan. We are going to pull it on with a winch. We're going to drive right out of there without any problems. Other new YouTubers have been inspired by Matt's off-road recovery because of how famous and well-known it is. What started out with a few views is now getting a lot of views. Matt's off-road recovery has become a national hit in just 3.5 years since the YouTube channel launched in 2019. It now has more than 1.5 million followers. Every day, more people watch the YouTube program. However, Matt Wetzel, who made the channel, is one of the reasons for its success. Matt has worked hard on the show and taken it from the ground up to the top. Matt, a tough, middle-aged tow truck driver from Hurricane, Utah, with a beard and trouble with technology, has shown that anyone can be successful. He has become very good at what he does and has been able to build his channel from nothing to a big success with just an iPhone. Many people wait until they have the right tools and money to start their own show, but Matt was brave and started recording on his iPhone. The station is now one of the most watched shows of all time. What does Matt's off-road recovery mean? Let's find out. Matt's Off-Road Recovery is a family-friendly, exciting YouTube show based on Matt and his crew's real-life adventures. On the show, Matt often talks about how hard it was for him and the team to get better. Jamie, his wife, their 4 boys, and a gentleman named Ed make up his crew. They have always been an interesting group. Over time, the team grew, and more skilled and likable people joined. Later, 3 more dogs were added. All of them were rescued and are on the channel. Their names for the 2 dogs were Lady and Peanut. Max was the name of the 3rd dog, a brown Labrador. People often said that the dogs on the show were the happiest dogs in the world because they were always seen to be happy and joyful. Even more so because they ran through the wild areas without any care. Not only that, viewers can also go along with the station on a number of off-road recoveries of cars and UTVs. Many times, these rentals were driven by tourists who couldn't do anything because they didn't know the area or how well their cars could handle off-road conditions. People fell more in love with the Discovery Channel after seeing this natural show. It was nice to watch a show where nothing was planned or staged. Also, Matt's movies show a glimpse into his life and how he and his crew deal with many hard recoveries in the middle of some of Utah's most beautiful scenery, especially in Zion National Park, Sand Hollow State Park, and other areas in southern Utah. There were times when Matt and his crew were in danger. On very rare events, they would often go to the mountains in northern Utah to get better, but most of the action took place within 200 miles of the storm. There are always 3 parts to their films. It starts with the cry of a stranded motorist, "I got a call," giving information about where and how the stuck car is located. Then they move on to the fast-paced trip to the place. Often, music plays in the background as they move to the scene, and dogs run alongside the recovery trucks. In the end, they show the diagnosis and relief, which can be dramatic or emotional. In cases where drivers are stuck, they are always treated with kindness and respect, even if they made a mistake or their car wasn't right for the situation. Matt and his group loved figuring things out. They loved saving people in the worst scenarios, and they did this in many ways, including by being creative. While many people think Matt's off-road comeback is great and beautiful, Matt had to work hard at the beginning. Also, there were times when he felt down. Matt had worked as a roofer for 12 years before he became popular on YouTube. Did that catch you off guard? He didn't just wake up one morning and decide to make a YouTube page. He never thought about it. He had worked as an employee for 10 years before starting his own roofing business. For the last 2 years, he has been the owner of the company. He began Skyline Roofing with Adam Stout after quitting his job with the boss. The roof worked out great, and it is still being used in Hurricane, Utah. Matt decided he needed a change after 2 years. To start Red Ryder Towing, he bought the assets of a local tow company and sold his share in Skyline. Had he ever towed anything before? There's no way that he could have done that. Before he bought Red Ryder, he hadn't dragged professionally, but he was good at it because he did a lot of different jobs. Matt says that part of pulling is figuring out how to fix problems and what machines can and can't do. You should also know what not to do with them. I threw myself into the tow business full speed. That's how Matt felt. He was ahead of his time and loved doing things. He thought the best thing was to try new things. Matt bought winter towing not long after starting Red Ryder Towing. Matt said, I thought I could live my whole life building this tow company, or I could buy one that's already done. I bought winter towing in 2013. It wasn't easy for Matt when he first started out. But in 2009, he started getting calls for off-road tow jobs, but he didn't have the right tools. This made it hard for him to move forward. He said that we did them anyway, even though we knew it was wrong because we weren't very good at them. Matt knew the system wasn't working because calls kept coming in. That is, in August, it might be 110 degrees, and some college kids would drive their car to Sand Hollow Beach and get stuck. He told her, I'll be there with a wrecker and extra cables. Your worker needs to pull out 150 feet of cable, walk back through the sand, pick up 100 feet of cable extension, go back, pull it all the way out, connect it, get another one, and go out there. They are in trouble at that point, like getting too tired from the heat. He went on to say that it took 2, 3, or 4 guys to drag the wire to that car and connect it. Now, it was the same thing all over again. We can only pull in 150 feet before we have to come back out and hook up to the next one. Pull these up and then pull them again. When it's over, you'll have a $200 or $2,500 job for some college students who do. The car isn't very nice. I was sure it was all wrong and I would discount like crazy. It was terrible for them, even if I lowered the price to $400 or $500. Also, I'm pulling these expensive cars too far out into the sand. After that, I have to save myself and all that. Things were not going well. Matt also said that he chose not to modify the tow trucks for off-road recovery after figuring out how much money he would lose. He could start over because of this. He then picked out a 2001 Jeep Cherokee. He put the car together and colored it yellow. Matt also said that the Cherokee was called the Banana because of the yellow paint. A customer who wasn't sure gave it that name just before the modified Cherokee pulled his Class C RV out of the sand. Then he adds kinetic energy ropes, which he describes as a great tool. With kinetic ropes and the Banana or the newer Morvair, Matt and his crew were able to cut down on the time and cost of rescues. He said that these jobs are now being done in minutes instead of hours. Matt got stronger and better as he did more off-road rescues. He began sending podcasts every night to some old friends. He told them that one of their friends is an airplane pilot and the other is a nuclear engineer. They sit around and do dull work for a living. I tell them stories and they live through them. They tell me to write a book and send me pictures. Matt cared about and loved his friends. For them to be happy, he began sending his friends more pictures and short videos. All of this work is just to show 2 people interesting things about what we're doing. His family and friends told him to try putting the movies on YouTube. You can make it worth your time, they told you. There are people who do this for a job. The first thing that made Matt think twice about this idea was how to use technology. He wasn't very good at it. He said, I can't handle a laptop. In that way, I'm not good with technology. Even though I like solving problems, I don't like computer issues. Matt later did what the advice said and looked into how to use YouTube. He learned after a long search that a lot of people make family vlogs and put them on YouTube because it's free. He also saw how many people turned their YouTube channels into companies worth millions of dollars because people liked their videos. His brother-in-law helped him start a YouTube page after he watched a lot of videos, but it didn't go very far. He said, and what are the successful ones doing that they quit their jobs to do this full-time? When Matt tried to make a YouTube page for the first time and failed, he didn't give up. He also didn't know what questions to ask at that time. He said, it took a long time, but I could focus very hard for years. So I put all of my attention on YouTube and learning how to do it. He tried to learn as much as he could on YouTube for days on end. He then found out about LumaFusion. Because he didn't like working on a PC, LumaFusion was an app for his phone that let him edit. Then he thought, okay, if I can run this off my iPhone, I can do this. Since he didn't need a PC, a lot of people are still moved by Matt's story. There was no way to help him learn so many things from scratch. Matt also said that YouTube taught him how to use it. He said YouTubers like Nick Nimmin teach people how to start YouTube channels and what to do and what not to do. It's easy for everyone to do something wrong on YouTube. One of them is to please share and join. If you do that, don't do it again. Matt kept getting more and more pleasure from using YouTube. He was able to meet real YouTubers and people in the business after he became famous who told him they use him as an example. A lot of people have come up to him and told him that they thought they couldn't start YouTube until they had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cameras, a studio. Though after hearing his story, they were brave and began with nothing. Many people say, hey, this tow truck driver with only a high school education started a YouTube channel with an iPhone. Matt did the same thing. He worked with the tools he had on hand and began filming and editing his own stories. He kept going even though it was hard for him. He had to switch between off-road recovery and pulling with tow trucks. His story was shared, and I'm now filming myself with it. A lot of what's going on outside is being filmed by me. I give Ed, one of my kids, my wife, or someone else the phone when we get to work. It's on sticks and rocks to hold it up if not. Matt had to run his tow company for 24 hours straight when he first started. It took all of his time and energy, but he didn't give up. Around 10 p.m., when everyone else went to sleep, he would often lock himself in his attic and edit movies. He dropped 2 or 3 movies a week, and it was hard for him to sleep at night for 2 to 3 hours. He remembers, I lived that way for a little over a year and a half. I'd take naps wherever I could. He got what he paid for when he made a movie that went viral. This took place between 6 and 8 months ago. He told us that at this point, we were getting some movies that had over 1 million views. When you first start, your films might only get a few thousand views. But ours started to grow quickly, and each one got 10,000 views, then 20,000. Now we have a movie that has been watched 1 million times. After one good movie, we had another one. A lot of questions came up because it was so famous. Matt started to ask himself more questions after seeing how far they had come. One thing that kept going through his mind was, what makes a good video and what makes a bad video? He often asked, why did that video do well? And that on a not do well, he decided he was going to start this channel the right way as he taught about it. He told me, I want it. I was sure I could turn it into a business and make money from it. In this state of thought, he met Daryl Eves, and their meeting changed him. Getting to know Daryl Eves. The meeting between Daryl Eves and Matt was a good thing. When Matt was trying to decide whether to start his own YouTube page, he kept hearing the name Daryl Eves. He became more interested in the name as he heard it more. He found out later that Daryl was the one who started VidSummit. He became interested after hearing this. Matt would hear that he lives in the same place as him. Matt would then ask, who is this guy? They'd say, oh, he's connected to Mr. Beast and every other popular YouTuber Matt could think of. Daryl's name was everywhere, so Matt did something brave and asked a friend for his number. He called and Daryl answered the phone, which caught him off guard. He was even more shocked when he answered the call from a number he didn't know. Right away, Daryl took his call. Matt told me, hey, I have this little YouTube channel. It seems to be going well, but I feel like I've reached a brick wall. It's not getting better. Do you offer this service? I want to hire you. Daryl said something that shocked Matt after he had heard him out. But Daryl said, no, we don't do one-on-one. He then added, but I have this class coming up that you can take